itchy eyes. Um, if you live in an area where you're getting bombarded with pollen, as I do, I'm not technically diagnosed with any allergies, but you know, the vast amount of pollen that this area produces does affect me. Even though you might not think you have allergies, but if you're not feeling well, it could be a new allergy. So here's a couple of things that you may or may not be able to do, but could help. And it's best to get started now. So you can try some of these herbs instead of using the antihistamines that make you drowsy, make you feel weird. Uh, Freeze-dried stinging nettles. That's long been something that uh, you know has shown the properties of antihistamines without the drowsiness. And the other is butter burr, and you want to start taking them regularly a few weeks before your typical allergy season begins. So, seeing that spring is a mere week or so away, probably now, would be good before the weather starts warming up if you're in a cold weather region. Now, that's something I'm not sure I could do completely, but you could add, things like almond milk or coconut milk for dairy substitutes. Uh, the milk isn't so much an issue for me. The only time I have the milk is when I'm having coffee, and it's just a splash. And I used to go and buy rice milk for that, and then rice milk became hard to find, and uh, I just went back to regular old uh, whole milk. But for me, the difficult part in eliminating dairy would be cheese, because I do like my cheese. So that would be hard to do. But eliminating dairy does avoid immune system irritation. So I'm going to try to cut back. Now, one thing I do is increase my intake of omega-3 fatty acids. I take omega-3 pills 3 times a day. They also help with my high cholesterol, so I take more than most to do. And then fruits like berries and cherries, which I love, help to sort of bring down your body's inflammatory response to allergens. So those are 4 different things that you could do uh, to help you keep the inflammation down, which is what allergens do. They create the inflammation, which causes the itchiness and sneezing and all of that kind of thing. So stinging nettles, eliminate or cut down your dairy intake, and increase omega-3 fatty acids. You can try supplements if you're not a big fish fan, but salmon, if you can tolerate salmon, that can also be a great source for you, and berries and cherries and things like that. All right then, and also around this time of year, you can have some difficulty with your eyes, eye watering eyes and things like that. But that can also be a sign of you know, vision impairment. So there are things you can eat that can help to support your eyes. So Dr. Andrew Weil is suggesting here citrus fruits, potatoes, broccoli, tomatoes, melons if you like them. They have vitamin C. And that's what we're after with those. Now, soybean, leafy greens, fish, nuts, and seeds, they have vitamin E. And as I mentioned, I'm not a big fish fan, and I don't eat a lot of nuts and seeds, but greens, leafy greens and salads I have a lot of, so that can be a good source. And soybeans too sometimes. Legumes, which I have to stay away from because of other health issues, but things like lentils, black-eyed peas, uh, even lima beans, I think, are also considered legumes. Spinach, type things, lettuce, and peas can also help because they are a source of carotenoid pigment. And the other legumes are sources of zinc, which are all good for healthy eyes. So you can think about that. And so now it's time for, as I promised you, a little bit of a guided meditation on finding your authentic self. And it's a relaxation technique to help you find your true self and live up to your full potential and live according to your true identity in day-to-day life. So again, as I mentioned, authentic self is a term that we're talking about when we're still talking about small self. We're not talking about big self. Big self doesn't have a worry about authenticity. But small self, in the context of day-to-day life, does. So, just keeping that in mind. Start relaxing your body and your breathing. Focus on that. And the feeling of relaxation starts filling your feet and then your ankles up to your legs and knees, upper legs, feeling very heavy and relaxed, hips and pelvis, surrounding muscles, your stomach, your lower back, you can feel them relaxing. Relaxation in your chest and sides, very relaxed, very heavy. Letting your hands relax all the way from your fingertips to your wrists. Lower arms relaxing, letting go. Elbows, upper arms, shoulders, feel them lowering slightly. Free from tension. Relaxed position. Neck muscles, let them go. Relaxing your face and your head. Your entire body relaxing even more deeply now, becoming completely relaxed, limp, heavy, comfortable. Now it's time to turn attention inward, deeply inside, to find your authentic self. What do you value? Where does your sense of right and wrong come from? The values you've been thinking of make up part of the core of who you are. If you are being true to your values, these core beliefs drive your behavior. And it's good to behave, and it feels good to behave in ways that are consistent with your values. If you value your family, perhaps your life reflects this in the time that you spend with them. What else makes you who you are? Finding your authentic self involves learning who you truly are. Your authentic self is the real you, the person you are truly meant to be. Your authentic self is the person you are, the core. The person you can be if nothing holds you back. Imagine the person you believe yourself to be right now. And it's okay if you aren't quite sure what that is. Just picture yourself going about things you usually do. Like, imagine you're watching yourself on a TV screen or something. See what you do in the morning, throughout the day. Watch yourself doing these activities. And picture this person, you standing in an empty room. Imagine you're watching this person. And imagine you could strip away all the things that hold you back from your full potential. Self-doubt dissolving, replaced with confidence and self-assurance. Picture this person before you, and imagine all the things that get in the way of success, such as circumstances, lack of resources, lack of forgiveness, illness, baggage from the past, anything that is holding this person back in any way at all. Now, see these problems dissolving, disappearing, go away. Now imagine this person standing in the empty room. What's left? Who is this person when all those barriers are stripped away? Imagine who you are at the core, the pure character that's left when there's nothing to get in the way of your complete self-expression. Now you might only have a vague picture of that in your mind right now, but let it come into focus. Let it become clearer. Think about what motivates you, what drives your behavior, what catches your interest, or has caught your interest in the past, what propels you to action. What's your personality? What character traits do you have? At your fullest potential, your simplest form with no fears, what traits do you have? Are you laid back and calm, or are you more energetic? Introverted, extroverted, quiet, talkative, creative, practical? What sort of things do you appreciate? What do you admire? What do you like? What makes you happy? Think of something that makes you happy. What is it? Think of things you like doing. Think about all the characteristics of the person who is left when all barriers and fears are removed. So now we're going to change the picture, imagining yourself as a young child in a happy moment. See this child's potential. Who is this young person? What makes this child who or what she is? Think about the characteristics that you share with this child. In what ways are you similar? In what ways does the current you differ from this child? Think about what you've learned and how you've grown since that time you were a small child. Now, see the world through your younger self's eyes. What did you want to be when you grew up? What hopes did you have for your future self? What dreams did you have as a child? The hopes and dreams you had as a child were probably related in some way to your authentic self. Something about your dreams was connected to a part of your true self. What do these aspirations say about who you are? What personal characteristics of yours are related to your childhood dreams? Now let's create one final picture in your mind and use as much detail as you can. This is the person you want to be, your ideal self. How would this person behave? What does this person value? What motivates this ideal self? What personal characteristics are present in this ideal version of you? Imagine all the details of the person you most want to be.